G'day guys, Fitcho here, and welcome to the second last episode of my MotoGP 17 career mode. That is right guys, after abandoning it almost so long ago, I'm finally back to do these last two races and give this series the send-off it does deserve. Now I just want to apologize for leaving this series so suddenly and at such a weird point and for so long. I do really apologize for that. If you guys haven't sort of kept up with what I'm doing in my channel since I stopped this series, pretty much personal shit and school going on, but now I've actually graduated from high school. That's all done. I'm now at uni, so I shouldn't have the big exams like I did last year. That meant I really had to just stop everything else in my life and focus so much on them. I don't have that same sort of super high pressure exams at uni like I did at high school to get myself into uni. So this year, when the new game drops in just over a week, I'm going to get that series done. I want to get all the way to winning the MotoGP world title. I can't promise I'll win the world title, but I promise you I'll get through a whole season of MotoGP in the rider career this time. I'll promise you that. I am so excited for the new game. It is not far away. So I thought, why not just do the last two races of the MotoGP 17 career mode, finish this series off, give it the send-off it deserves, and I guess a bit for myself, get the rust out of my system, remind myself sort of go through the motions of making a MotoGP video, make sure I know what I'm doing, and make sure when the new game drops in just over a week, the video will be as high quality as possible, and all that rust will be out of the way. So anyway, today we have the Malaysian Grand Prix, round 17 of 18 in the Moto3 world title, and unfortunately I have already won the title. It's a bit odd me saying unfortunately I've already won the title, but it just means these next two races don't really have much meaning to them in terms of the championship. But nonetheless, for a bit of fun, I'm going to start last for both of them, try to go from last to first, see how it goes, and hopefully get some good racing for you guys to enjoy. Let's do it. Here we are at the Sepang circuit in Malaysia, and have a look, we have a fair bit of rain on the track. It is absolutely tipping it down here in Malaysia. Typical Malaysia stuff, to be honest, with a little bit of a monsoon, I guess you can call it, here in Southeast Asia. This is going to make for a very exciting race. Like I said, we are starting dead last in some very tricky conditions, and if we can get to the front of this race, it will be our 5th win on the trot. So it's got a challenge in front of us if we want to keep our winning streak going. This is going to be a great race.
Warm-up lap done with. The bikes and riders are lined up and ready to race here at the Sepang circuit. The start of another Malaysian Grand Prix is just seconds away.
Here we are, right at the back of this Sepang grid, in some very wet conditions. It's lights out, and away we go now. That's been a decent start off the line for this Malaysian Grand Prix. Already picked off a couple of positions. We get past Arenas, Bezecchi, and now Bo Benschneider as we head down towards the first corner. How late do we dare go on the brakes in these tricky conditions? Hard on the brakes, struggling to get the bike stopped. A little bit of contact down into turn number 1, but we stay upright as we head into turn number 2. We're getting hung out to dry here on the outside. Ironic statement in these conditions, but nonetheless, now through turn number 3 we go up the inside of Sasaki. Now we're going to swing right across the rear of his bike as we understeer a heap through that corner. Now we've got Darren Binder sneaking up our insides. We're early on the brakes there into turn number 4, and a whole lot of riders pounce on our mistake as we are struggling to find our way in these conditions, I guess you can say. I did do a couple laps in the dry to get used to this, because I haven't ridden the Moto3 bikes in this game since I probably last uploaded a video in this series, so it's been quite a while, and now chucked me into the rain as well, and it is very tricky. We get a nice move up the inside there of, I think that is turn number 7, is now down to the double rights. Careful. We try to get a nice run up here, possibly around the outside of our teammate Benschneider. Yes, we can do that, but straight into the back of Suzuki with absolutely nowhere to go with that run. Is now down to the hairpin. We go a little bit early on the brakes, so let's just throw it right in to the apex. Very aggressive. We do make that work and make a couple of positions up as we head into this really tricky right-hander. Let's just get across to the apex, and we do claim another 2 positions up to 17th place on this opening lap. Can we get up the inside of Guevara into this tricky left-hander? Not quite, but now into the final corner. We go a little bit early on the brakes, but now we're going to let off the brakes and just send it to the apex. A double overtake there. Very nice as we fight with the rear wheel there to keep a little bit of traction in these very tricky conditions. Is now down the back straight we go. We're up into 15th place. I think we've got Philip Erdl up ahead of us as the bike spread out just behind us as we head down to the final corner. Hard on the brakes, we're a little bit deep, try to cut this back and get a really nice exit. Then we'll slot into the slipstream of Philip Erdl just in front of us. But I think we might be a little bit too far back to get full effect of that as we end lap number 1 of 9 here in Malaysia. Can we sneak up the inside of Ramirez? Yes, we can. A beautiful move there. Up the inside of that fast right-hander is now up to the double right. Can we sneak up the inside of Philip Erdl? No, we can't. But what about up the second right? Yes, we can. Past Philip Erdl and Rodrigo. I think that was, I didn't quite see the name. I'm trying to remember back to last year's Moto3 field because, you know, I'm so used to the new field that it's weird seeing all these old riders. But up the inside of Livio Loy we go, and now we've got Fabio Di Gianantonio. That is a mouthful of a name directly in front of us through this tricky right. Let's just send it to the apex. Use a fair bit of curb. You shouldn't really be able to get away with using that much curb in these conditions. The curbs, the painted curbs, when you get a bit of water on, they get so slippery, and you just shouldn't have enough grip in the bike to hold on to the bike there, as we had a very nice move through the left-hander. I didn't even catch who it was on. I was too busy talking about the curbs, but nonetheless, we are now up into the top 10, into 9th place, as we come onto the back straight for the second time in today's race. And one thing I've noticed on this game, if you just pull offline down the straights, these guys aren't going to get in your slipstream. That's one thing I hope they have addressed for 2018, because in real life, if you dart around the straight, the bikes behind you are going to follow you because they want the slipstream, especially in a category like Moto3. As Mino goes up our inside, we try to switch back on him there through the last corner, but we can't quite make that stick, so we're going to jump into his slipstream, get a nice toe from that hole in the air he is punching, as now we pull out up the inside of Mino and back into 9th place at the start of lap number 3. We've sent it a little bit deep, and Fabio Di Gianantonio has capitalized on that, but he's then gone a little bit deep through the second part of that very long turn number 1, and Mino has ended up back in front of us through all of that as we now head through turn number 3. Try to hold it wide open through there, which we do. We do get a little bit wide, but it is not too bad. Can we try to find a way past Mino up the inside at turn number 4? Is not going to work. Fabio Di Gianantonio comes up our inside. We're going to cut it back on the exit, go really wide, then back up his inside. A nice move there, and we get back past Di Gianantonio into 10th place. Now we just want to hope that he just sort of leaves us alone a little bit, and we can try to keep making progress up this field, because we've made up 22 places so far in 3 laps. So if we keep this up, we're easily going to win this Grand Prix, and that's what we want to be doing. We want to make this 5 wins in a row if we can, as we head down to the hairpin, possibly up the inside of Mino, but that would have had to be very aggressive to make that move work. Can we try to get a nice run off this right-hander and send it up the inside here? Oh, I've taken a very tight line. Again, I can use those curves and get away with it in these conditions, which just shouldn't work. And there was a little bit of contact, a little bit argy-bargy with that move on Mino, I will admit, but we have got it done up into 9th places. Now we have our other teammate, Antonelli, just in front of us as we head up into the penultimate corner. Such a tricky corner that is, both here in MotoGP and on F1. It's such a tricky corner to get the bike or car stopped for. It's just such an awkward way you come into it, and it's just one I always struggle with. No matter what car or bike I am riding or driving, and I hate that corner with a passion. It's now down to the final corner. Our teammate is trying to get past Enea Bastianini. Can he get that move done? Yes, he can. As now we have Bastianini between me and the other Red Bull KTM. We end lap number 3. We are 1/3 of the way through today's 9-lap Malaysian Grand Prix. Oh, we've taken a big hit up the arse from Mino. Somehow stayed upright. He's gone a little bit deep, and we're going to retake that position. Now we have to be really careful to get a nice run out of turn number 2 so he doesn't take us back, because we went very aggressive there on the exit of turn number 1, trying to block him off. And we do hold on to that position just. That was very strange. I did brake slightly earlier than the previous laps, but on all the previous laps I was going a little bit deep, so I'm not too sure what he was thinking. But we are catching up to Bastianini and our teammate here as we head through turn number 5 now. Right on the back of Enea Bastianini and our teammate. Let's look up the inside as we head down to the hairpin, but he's gone so late on the brakes. Can we just try to pull it back to the apex? Yes, we can. Very aggressive. A little bit of contact there, but we pull off that double overtake on Bastianini and our teammate, now up into 7th place. That looks like Jorge Martin just up in front of us. Someone's having a great season so far in real life. Right on the back of Jorge Martin. In fact, we're going to shove it up his inside on the exit of turn number 2 and we pull that move off. Now up the inside of Bulldiger and Finardi through turn number 3. Almost a triple overtake there in a corner and a half. And we find ourselves only one place off the podium now, but we go a little bit early onto the brakes into turn 4 and we just lose 2 of those places that we just gained to Finardi and Bulldiger is now into turn number 5. Can we go around the outside? No, we're not going to pull this off around the outside. Let's try to pull it back to the left so we get a nice line into turn number 6. Oh, I didn't quite get it right to get under Bulldiger. We've just clipped the back of his bike ever so slightly, but it hasn't hurt us or Bulldiger too badly as we now head into the double right. Can we try to get a nice run off the second one of these rights around the outside of Nicolo Bulldiger? Great run there. We take 5th position from him. Can we get 4th from Finardi as we head down to the hairpin? We did have it momentarily, but we were just a little bit earlier on the brakes than Romano Finardi, and he takes that position back, and Bulldiger follows him through using a fair bit of curb, which I shouldn't be able to get away with, but I am getting away with, so I'm going to keep doing it up the inside of Finardi and Bulldiger. A little bit aggressive there, using that curbs again, and we get that move done back into 4th place, and that lead trio is not far ahead of us with 3 and a bit laps to go, 4 and a bit laps to go even. We are right on the back of the top 3 now, right on the back of the Scotsman John McPhee as we head through the final few corners on lap number 6 of this 9-lap Malaysian Grand Prix. Can we sneak up the inside into the penultimate corner of John McPhee? Yes, we can. A little bit of contact, but we get away with that, but he gets a nice switchback on us there, but he can't quite pull that off. He just had to get out of the throttle there or something with a little bit of contact with our bike. We now find ourselves in a podium place. We've got Joan Mir just in front of us, and I think it's Aaron Canet leading the races. I've gone way too hot into the last corner. We do get up the inside of Mir momentarily by doing that, but he gets a nice switchback pretty easily on us, but nonetheless we're somehow got caught up a little bit by that audacious attempt. I wouldn't even call it an attempt. I didn't even mean to go up his inside. But a nice slipstream up the pit straight, and we are now up the around the outside of Mir, I should say. We were momentarily past him, but into the braking zone we go. Oh, McPhee, damn it. I was trying to go for a little bit of a cutback, a bit like I think it was Lorenzo was trying to, and Danny Pedrosa just sent it up the inside at Jerez. And then we had all that chaos, but the 3 of us stay on our bike this time, thankfully, and we get up the inside of Mir and John McPhee now up into 2nd place, as it is Aaron Canet just in front of us. He's the only man standing in front of me and victory, and now add McPhee and Mir to that list as the 2 of them just get back past me. I'm struggling on the brakes into turn number 4, as you can tell. Can we sneak up the inside of turn number 6 of Mir and McPhee, trying that same sort of cut back line, I guess you could call it, through there, and it works yet again back into 2nd place. And now we just need to put our heads down, hope that the 2 behind us just stick behind us for a minute so we can just reel back up to the leader, Aaron Canet, and not let him make any sort of a break. And we have gained heaps there. A nice run through the double right and a bit of a slipstream. That's very, very aggressive on the Mark VDS rider, and we do just about get that move done up the inside. Push him out of the way a little bit, but let's be honest, he's been doing that to other people, so we can get away with it, right? And that was all she wrote. No one was able to come back at me, and we are heading up to the line to make it 5 wins on the trot. We cross the line to win the Malaysian Grand Prix in some torrential conditions after starting right at the back of the field. Started in 32nd, finished first, past 31 bikes, I think it is. Great ride there, and I hope you guys did enjoy that. It was definitely a little bit of fun. The rain definitely made things a little bit tricky, especially for me, considering how long it's been since I've ridden these Moto3 bikes and ridden them in the rain. Like, you don't ride much in the rain, and I haven't ridden a Moto3 bike on this game in so long, so it made it a little bit of a challenge, but nonetheless, I was able to come through from the back of the grid, make it 5 wins in a row by winning here in Malaysia, with Aaron Canet and Joan Mir joining me on the podium. McPhee came home in 4th, Bulldiger in 5th, Romano Finardi, Enea Bastianini, Jorge Martin, Nicolo Antonelli, and Andrea Mino rounded out the top 10. So for those who care, this is what the championship looks like, and as you can see, I have an 86-point lead with 1 race to go, so things are done and dusted, and they have been for at least 2 races now. I think I won it in Phillip Island, my home track, which is a nice way to do it. In terms of the constructors' standings, things are also pretty done over here as well. 123 points, KTM leads by over Honda, so with 1 race to go, that is not going to change. And there you go, it's confirmation, I am the world champion, which we already established, I think, in the previous episode, which was so long ago. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Next time out, we hit the track in Valencia for the final round of the Moto3 World Championship. Yet again, I'm going to start last for that race so we can put on a bit of an overtaking show and have an entertaining race for you guys. That should be coming out next Tuesday, I think is what I'm planning, which is 2 days before MotoGP 18 drops, and I cannot wait for that. Like I've already said, when that game drops on that day, I'm going to be at the shops when they open that Thursday morning, getting the game, getting back home, getting stuck straight into career mode, getting those videos out for you guys, and just having a whole lot of fun. So if you guys are excited for that, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so those videos will pop up in your sub box on Thursday morning. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time.